Hey guys, this is Nat Blue with a new YouTube video. Today we are going to be going over DreamWorks movies. So some of these movies I have not seen before. A lot of them came out after I had already stopped watching DreamWorks movies. Some of these newer ones I have seen because I do have nieces. This is not an inclusive list. I did add a few movies that came out recently that I have seen near the end of the list, but I think most of these movies are before like 2019. So we are going to start this list off with Turbo, which I have seen. The Turbo, I'm going to put in B. I think Turbo was a solid movie. I enjoyed it. I think I might have seen this movie too many times. I think it was really good the first watch, and then I just enjoyed a little bit less each time I watch it. I think it was fun. It was a little bit different than most animated movies I've seen, so that was a nice change of pace at least. Next movie on this list is Trolls. I've seen this a couple of times. It's been a long time. I'm putting this in C. I don't like the Trolls as a concept. I cannot care less about the Trolls. So I really don't want to put them in F because I know it's a hugely popular movie, but I just cannot stand the Trolls. Next on the list, Boss Baby. I think we'll put this in B for Boss Baby, but it's going to be above Turbo. I enjoyed Boss Baby a lot. I just don't remember much of the movie, so I don't want to rank it too high. But I think overall it was a solid movie. Next movie on here is Captain Underpants. I haven't seen this. I didn't know they came out with an animated Captain Underpants movie, so I guess I'm just out of the loop there. Next is How to Train Your Dragon. I don't recognize this poster. It looks like this has the white dragon in it. I haven't seen this movie either. Um, I'm interested in the How to Train Your Dragon series, but I think I've only seen the first one. Next on the list, Chicken One. This is an A tier movie. I love Chicken One. It's such a good movie. I don't want to put it in S because I think it's not as dissolving as some of these other movies in S tier, but it is an A tier movie at least. Next, Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is an S tier movie. This might be the best Shrek movie. It is very good. So I have to put it in S. I don't think it could go lower than that, honestly. Next is Penguins of Madagascar. I think this is B. Oddly enough, I'm a huge fan of penguins. I'm not a huge fan of the Penguins of Madagascar. Um, but I think it's still a solid movie. Next is Wallace and Gromit. I don't know which one this is. It has a net. I think this is the one. Oh, it's the Rare Rabbit one. This is going A tier. I love Wallace and Gromit. A lot of people don't talk about them very often anymore, but I think those movies are so funny. I love like the animation style they use. I think those are such good movies. Next one on this list is Puss in Boots. I think this is the first movie they did with Puss in Boots as his own solo character. I haven't seen this. Um, I've heard good things. I don't think I ever got around to this. I wasn't aware it came out when it released. So overall, okay. Who have not seen it. I have seen the newest one, but I have not seen that one. The next is a Shrek movie that I've also not seen, and I'm very confused as to how I haven't seen that movie. Um, it doesn't look familiar at all. Then we have Shrek the Third. I feel like this is the Shrek movie that everybody hates on. Uh, and I don't remember much about it. And I don't know why I don't remember much about it. I feel like this is something that I might have blocked out a little bit. So I've Googled it. And honestly, it looks incredibly familiar. And from what I can tell, it looks familiar because this movie sucked. So we're putting this in F. It's not good. Next is Madagascar 3. This is like a circus thing. We're also putting this in F because I don't really remember the movie at all. And that doesn't fare well for the movie. Next movie we have up How to Train Your Dragon 2. Like I said, I've only seen the first one, so we're going to put it in haven't seen. I really want to get back around to watching the How to Train Your Dragon series because I've heard very good things about it. I just have only seen that first How to Train Your Dragon. So Shark Tale is up next. This is a Will Smith DreamWorks movie. I didn't realize DreamWorks made this. This is high A. Well, just A because all of these I feel like all of these movies are pretty, similar in quality, so I loved Shark Tale. I think it's one of Will Smith's best movies, honestly. Next movie is Ants. This is F, mostly because it came out, I think, at a similar time to Bug's Life, and compared to Bug's Life, it just wasn't good. It was okay. It wasn't a bad movie. I'll put it above Shrek the Third at least. Then we have B movie. B movie is an S tier movie. I love that he's wearing a sweater as a bee. I think that's hilarious. The only thing I don't like about this movie is they make a big deal about the fact that a stinger will end a bee, but then a bee stings somebody and they just put like a cocktail salt into it, and that makes no sense at all. But that's okay. Um, I just think it's such a good movie. Next is How to Train Your Dragon 1. I think this is an A tier movie. I loved it. It was really fun. I liked the Black Dragon, Toothless. I think he's really cool. Overall, great movie. Next, Joseph, King of Dreams. I haven't seen this movie. For the same reason, I haven't seen another movie on this list, which I don't. Oh no, I guess there isn't another movie on this list that I was thinking about. Um, I'm not a religious guy, so I'm not going to watch a religious movie. I feel like that's a religious movie. Next is Rise of the Guardians. I think Rise of the Guardians is a S tier movie. It was so good. I loved the Sandman in that movie. He was so cool. Santa was really cool. The Easter Bunny was really cool. Jack Frost really carried the movie. I think he was a great character. Overall, this was just such a good movie, and I wish they had done more in that universe because I just think it was so interesting. And then we have Sinbad. Sinbad's I'm going to put in B. It was a decent movie. It could have been better. I think there's been better iterations of Sinbad, but I think it was a solid movie. Flushed Away, C tier. It was okay. I remembered liking it the first time I watched it when I was really young, but overall it was only okay. Kung Fu Panda 2, I'll put in B. I think it was good. It was not as good as the first Kung Fu Panda. Home. This has the guy who voiced oh, this was voiced by the guy who plays Sheldon, I think, in Big Bang Theory. I'm not a huge Big Bang Theory guy, so I do not know his name. This is an S tier movie. I've watched this with my oldest niece probably a dozen times, and I enjoy the movie every single time. And that's not something I can say about most movies on this list, so I think it has to be S tier. Next, Kung Fu Panda 3. I haven't seen this. I know they just came out with a fourth movie. I didn't realize they made more than two of them until they announced the fourth one. So it's probably decent. I just haven't seen the movie. For some reason, it looks like there might be a baby in it. So I'm interested, but I never got around to it. The fourth Kung Fu Panda, I think is high A. We'll put it above Shark Tale. I think I enjoyed it more than Shark Tale, but it was a solid movie. I really liked Jack Black as the main lead. I like the other ninjas. I don't know what you would call them, kung fu masters. I really like the tiger and the little mouse guy. I don't know anybody's names, and that's okay. I like the turtle. That's a cool thing. The tortoise. I think it's a tortoise, not a turtle. Um, Overall, great movie. I really like the dumplings. The dumplings look so good in that movie, and I don't even like dumplings that much. They just look amazing. I think they're dumplings. Or they bow, the little white things. They look so good in that movie, and I don't think I've ever had one. I don't like the idea of them, so I'm probably never going to eat one. I'm weird about food. Madagascar 2, Back to Africa maybe is what it's called. Uh, I'm putting it in C. I'm not a huge fan of the Madagascar movies, except for this next one, the first Madagascar. I think it's a B movie. We'll put it above the Penguins of Madagascar. I think it was a very solid movie. I liked the whole New York Zoo thing. It gave us the "you have to move it" sequence. I love King Julian. He's probably my favorite character in the movies. Um, so I think it deserves a B spot. I considered A, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Turbo or about Boss Baby. So next is The Croods. I barely remember this movie, so we'll just go to say I haven't seen it. Honestly, it was okay from what I remember. Megamind is an A tier movie. I loved Megamind. It was so good. I'm a big fan of superheroes, and I think this kind of scratched that itch of a villain that kind of tries to redeem themselves near the end of the movie. I think it was really great. I like the twist with the superhero. I won't get into too many details because I don't want to spoil too much for anybody that hasn't seen this movie that's been out for a pretty long time. Next is Monsters and versus Aliens. I have never even heard of this movie. So that's going there. Same with Mr. Peabody and Shulman. I've also never heard of it. I don't know if I'm just missing something. I just have never heard of these movies. Next is Over the Hedge. We're going to put Over the Hedge and see. I don't remember much of it. I think it was a fun movie, but that's pretty much all I remember about it. Then we have Prince of Egypt. Prince of Egypt is an F tier movie. It's so bad. I don't want to be too negative in this tier list, but I just really did not like Prince of Egypt. It was boring for most of the movie. I understand this was like the baby. This is what DreamWorks thought was going to succeed. I just do not think it's a good movie in the slightest. Next up, we have Road to El Dorado. This is S tier. All of the S tier movies I'm saying are pretty much on the same level. So I think Road to El Dorado is just as good as every other movie on this tier up here. I cannot put it above any of the other ones, but it is such a good movie. I I think this movie changed my life a little bit. It was I was still a pretty young guy. I loved the dynamic between the two main characters. The main female character in this movie, uh, just certainly changed my life. I was a huge fan of her. It was a really fun story about them trying to find treasure. That whole ball sequence, that sport that they play, where you kick the ball through the hoops, was one of the coolest sequences I think I've ever seen. It was so interesting. I think this is a movie that they could probably do a live action, and I wouldn't be upset about it. Honestly, I think there's a couple of good options for actors for this that would be really interesting for a live action movie. But I mean, I would be perfectly fine with them just keeping it as this older animated movie for the rest of my life, and I would still love the movie every single time I watch it. The next movie is Shrek. This is Shrek 1, OG Shrek. I think this is an S tier. Um, just because of the nostalgia of it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put it down in A because I don't think it's on the same level as these other five. It will be the very top of A for me. I really enjoyed the first Shrek movie. I think it's one of the most iconic animated movies since I was born. And I think Mike Myers did such a good job with the voice. I loved the intro of Donkey. Fiona was such a good character. I think this is the one that Lord Farquaad is in. I thought he was hilarious. The very short king thing was really funny. The gladiator scene was amazing. I just think it was such a good movie. Next is Spirit. I haven't seen Spirit. I know it's a very popular DreamWorks movie, and I think it's one of the first like big hits that they released. Other than I mean, Prince of Egypt was pretty early, Shrek was pretty early, but I think that Spirit was one of the first major hits, and I just never saw the movie. I'm not a huge fan of horses. I'm okay with them on a personal level. If I see a horse, I'm not going to be angry at the horse, but like horses bite. You know that? Horses bite. My family used to have horses, and sometimes horses bite. We don't have to get into it, but I want to make sure everybody understands they have big teeth. You don't want a horse to bite you. I've never had a horse bite me, but I've always been worried about it. They're so big. Okay, that's not the point. Bad Guys is up next. This is a pretty recent DreamWorks movie about some characters that are just always assumed to be bad. I thought this was good. I enjoyed it. I'm going to put it in B above Madagascar. You know what? I'll put it above Turbo. I think I would watch this movie again. I watched it pretty recently, I think in the last couple of years. And I mean, it's only been out for a few years, but I really enjoyed this movie a lot more than I expected to. The next movie is where this tier list changes a little bit because this is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I think this is an S tier movie. I think this is the S tier movie. Puss in Boots: Last Wish is by far my favorite DreamWorks movie. I watched this a few months ago, way after everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about how terrifying Death was as a character. There's going to be maybe some minor spoilers in me talking about this movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, I would skip this part of the video. But I was never a huge Puss in Boots fan. As a character, I thought he was okay. I like Antonio Banderas, but I thought the character itself was only okay. This movie made me feel emotions I haven't felt in years. It was sad, it was scary, the plot was great. Um, honestly, I didn't expect to fall in love with this movie as much as I did. That final fight with the wolf was so cool. Um, the fact that he was a looming figure throughout the movie was really cool. How you just kept seeing him in the background of things. I really want to rewatch this movie. I'm kind of upset with myself because I bought it on Amazon Prime to watch digitally, and then I don't know which streaming service it is, for a different streaming service. I have added it to the platform like a couple weeks after I bought it on Amazon Prime. But now I have it whenever I want to watch it, at least. If you have not seen this movie, I greatly encourage you to pick it up, watch it on whatever streaming service it's available on, just for the experience. It's so good. So that wraps up all of the DreamWorks movies for this rating. If you guys liked this video, leave a like. If you don't agree with some of my movie ratings, if you do agree with some of my movie ratings and want to step in to defend me, comment in the comment section. I'm interested to see what people think about these movies. I am interested to hear about the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, if that's something I should watch, if Kung Fu Panda 3 is worth a watch, and if the Force Puss in Boots movie is also really good. After seeing this last one, The Last Wish, I am interested in the first one just to get a little bit more of the lore and everything. If you don't agree that Shrek the Third and Ants and Madagascar 3 and Prince of Egypt deserve F tier, you can comment. You're not going to change my mind. If you guys thought anything should be moved up higher, let me know. If you thought anything should be moved up lower. If you guys want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell if you want to get notifications as the videos are released. And other than that, until next time, peace.